How was the trip over?
Perfect. Pretty seamless. We were able to practice in Boise, get some work done, and jump on the charter with. It's nice to have the cheerleaders and the administrators and the band, and it gives you guys a good feel and a good atmosphere, and just good to get here. We're excited to be in Portland, and when you come in the hotel, there's a great NCAA March Madness feel to it.
Just to be here and see the signage and just see the other teams, and just, I know tomorrow maybe you'll feel a little more like it, but is it a special feeling when you get to this point?
It is, and that's why, for this team, I wanted it so bad for them, because we got so many veterans and older guys, and some guys that haven't experienced it. I mean, I think E-Man, he came to Boise when he was with Arizona, and if I'm not mistaken, I think Boo went, somewhere with Oregon, and I think that's about it. And Max has been to a bunch of them as a kid and a tag along, but I wanted those guys to have this experience because it's special. It's the greatest sporting event, in my opinion, in the world, and the NCAA does a great job with it, and the hotels do a great job with it, and there's an excitement and a buzz in the air, and so it's really neat for these guys.
You go back a year, and we're playing the NIT in Texas, and you've got Boo and Max that are hurt that can't play. So how much better is this team right now than last year's team?
Oh, it's hard to say. There's certainly things we do better this year, and that team had some strengths that, they're a really good offensive team, and but this team has got that toughness factor and that grit, and that, it's obvious the numbers defensively are vastly different, and we are one of the better rebounding teams too. So they're different teams, but this team has got those kind of things, and then that ability to win the close games. That's I'll take that ability over anything.
But I also meant like you had a starter and a top sub down too heading.
Oh, right, absolutely. Missing those two guys was huge, and they weren't even on the trip. Both of them were having surgeries, and so it was kind of a hard deal to not have them with us. But they wanted to get we wanted to get their recovery sped up, and so that was hard not having those guys, no doubt.
You've had a couple days to analyze the film. I mean, how are you guys going to try and attack Jalen Duran and kind of stop him?
Well, attacking him and stopping him are probably two different things.
Yeah. How do you limit him, I suppose?
Well, he's a great player. I mean, he's one of the best big guys in the country, and I'm including Kentucky's guys, and I mean this guy is special, but he's not the only one on that team. We know a lot of those guys. They got some great players, and we played them last year in the last game of the NIT, and they won the NIT, and we gave them their closest game in that whole tournament, and it was a battle, and there's so many factors to what they do. Number one, I think it starts with their press and the way they fly around and make you turn it over. And if you remember last year, the first half, I think we had 12 turnovers. In the second half, we calmed down and only had 3. And so we did a really good job in the second half. But they get balls that you don't think they could get. They're quick to the ball. They're athletic, and then they turn those turnovers into a highlight reel at the other end. And I've caught myself a bunch of times rewinding the tape just for my entertainment on some of their dunks and lobs, and they're an athletic team, and they fly around and play really, really hard.
You guys have obviously played in a lot of close games. Mm-hmm. They really haven't. They either win by a lot or their losses have been kind of lopsided too. Do you hope that your guys' ability to play in close games and not get panic or anything it's obviously probably going to be a close game. Do you feel like that hopefully is an advantage for you?
Well, I don't know. You never know, because it all comes down to that individual game, and those past games have nothing to do. The thing that they do is they teach you things that work, things that don't work, but each one of those games you just got to find a different way somehow, some way, and this group that they have some guys that have been there for a while, and they've some guys that have they won the NIT, so they had to they've had to win games. They figured out how to do it, and so that's probably the most important thing. And they've been on a really nice roll lately too. So I know that it does help you as a coach, knowing that you got guys that'll do the right thing down the stretch and make the big shots down the stretch, and make free throws and all the things that really end up winning you games.
For someone that's just jumping on board your team late that maybe hasn't seen the team much, how do you kind of describe your team to someone that's looking at you in the bracket?
That is a great question, BJ, and I'm glad you asked that. I would describe it as a first of all, gritty and tough. I mean, and they're great competitors, and they show up every night and play as hard as they possibly can. They might not make every shot, they don't win every game, but they sure compete every single night, and that's something to be proud of as a coach. I think we've been a really good defensive team consistently throughout the year. We've been a great rebounding team, and our offense has really, I thought, taken off. Our numbers have been great, probably the last 10 games, and 8 to 10 games, and but I think it's an unselfish team also that's fun to watch, and the games certainly that you get your money's worth watching us, that's for sure.
Are you expecting to have a fan advantage? I mean, with Boise State, you guys sold out all the tickets, and people are looking for more. Memphis, I know, didn't sell their tickets out. And then maybe Gonzaga people that remember you are going to be at the game. Do you think it's going to be a pro-Boise crowd?
Well, I would hope so, being that it's proximity. And I would hope all my old Zag fans and friends and come on over. We need you. And, Mark and I actually talked about that a little bit, and hopefully they get behind us and help us, because this is a big arena and there'll be a lot of people there, and Zag Nation could really help us. I know that.
Does it help? I mean, I know it's some new players and it's a new team and whatever, but you did play them last year, and that I don't know if there's an intimidation factor or whatever. Just you guys have seen those guys, and they may have the star rankings and all that stuff, but for that, you guys hung with them obviously and were beating them until the very end of the game. I mean, does that? I know maybe it's a dumb question. Does that do anything for your guys to have seen them already?
Yeah, what it does too is their press. I mean, doesn't mean that you're coming out of the gate and you got it solved, because they usually come out guns a-blazing, and their press is usually great from the start. And so it's different than maybe anything you've seen all year. So maybe, you would hope that could help you, but you never know. Each game is different, and it's a new year, so who knows?
Do they know Penny as anything other than a coach? Are you guys too young? Are your players too young to remember?
Oh, I got basketball junkies, so they know. Absolutely, no doubt.
You have so many guys who are so good at handling the ball. I mean, does that make it maybe easier to beat a press, or at least break it? Or are they so long that it's tough regardless?
Yeah, it is, and they're. It does help to have good passers, good catchers, good hands, all those kind of guys, and we have a pretty good skill level and some quickness, but you can't simulate what they're going to see, and you can't do it at practice. Especially, you get 1.5 days to really practice, and you're coming off 3 games in 3 days, so you're not talking about a lot of minutes. You can actually get reps at it. You just got to be, a lot of it's got to be concepts, and you can't replicate the speed and the athleticism with watching film or walking through stuff. It just doesn't happen. And that's probably what you saw a little bit last year, is the first half you're like, whoa, and then you settle into it a little bit, hopefully.
You kind of alluded to some guys playing with some stuff that we don't know about or whatever, and you're a little banged up. I mean, 4 days off, do you hope you're a little healthier going in, or at this point is time not really going to help? Or
yeah, time will help, but it feels like we just got back. I mean, we haven't reap the benefits of the time yet. So, but it's March, and these guys are super excited, and they're excited to be here, and the adrenaline will get going when the music starts playing.